Hello, hello, everyone. Hope you guys are all doing amazing. We are going to get started here in just 2 minutes. Going to give it a little bit more time for people to jump
Can
on.
you not put it up?
And we will get going here in just a second. I just muted all of you guys just so that we don't have some background noise for the next little bit. So give us 2 more minutes. And then we're going to get started. Make sure you have the notepad in front of you, maybe some water, because we're going to be sitting here for a good probably 2 hours, and then we're going to get going here. So give it 2 more minutes. We'll wait to see if anyone else pops on here, and then we'll get going here in a second. All right, guys, if you have not already, go ahead and open up the chat function here in Zoom. Go ahead and introduce yourself, where you're from, what kind of business you're doing. We got Alberta is in the house. That's awesome, Cody. I don't know if you know, but I live here in Canmore in Alberta. So that's awesome. Got people from local from here. Samantha, Lindsay, great to see you on here. Great to have you here. Got James, Kate, Kara, awesome. Carly, got a bunch of Canadians in the house. That's awesome. Great stuff, guys. Certified health and wellness coach. Amy, good to have you on here. Jen is Vancouver. Wow, we got like Canada is just being really nicely introduced into here. Get some more people jumping on. Great, guys. So we're going to get started here. And if more people join us as we go along, that is Grace, Kamisha, hope you're doing great. Helen, hope you're doing great. Jess, Fraser Value, awesome. Awesome, guys. Okay, well, we're going to get started here. I'm really excited about the intensive we're putting on here today. I've been wanting to do something like this for a while. It's honestly one of my favorite things to do. And I'm just really excited to dive into. I put together a big slideshow presentation for you guys. I have a lot of examples of different things. But as we get started, I do want to know, obviously this is called the 6-figure intensive, but I'd love to know some of your personal business goals right now, because we're probably all a bit different. Maybe some of us do want, like the 100K years is our next step, but why don't we go ahead and start, and everyone put in the chat what your business goal is, let's say by end of the year. So we're kind of like halfway through the year. Crazy how the year just seems like it's been flying by. So everyone go ahead, put in the chat what your goal is by end of year. 125K months. I love it. To work with 3 paying clients, 20K months, 100K year, 10K months. I love this, guys. This is great stuff. Keep putting them down below. Replace your full-time corporate job. I love that. And I keep on putting them down below. One of the things I want you guys to feel today is, even though this is going to be kind of like a presentation style to it, I want you guys to really feel like today's intensive is like a one-to-one conversation. That's going to be the biggest thing that I want you guys to feel today. And so I'm going to be going through a lot, but as I'm going through it, I want us to have lots of question and answer periods so that we're all getting clarity along the way. Awesome. Another person from Calgary, Alberta, 10K months by end of the year, create tiered programs for lower commitment. Awesome. I love that. Build a better lead system. Yes. 20 new clients. We'll decide on financials soon. Awesome. Okay. Sounds good, guys. Sounds good. So the biggest thing as we're going through today, probably like every 10 or so minutes, I'm going to go ahead and just pause and see if there's any questions. So if you guys do have questions, write them down, because every now and then we're going to be going ahead and answering all the questions for you guys, just because there's a lot of information we're going to be going through today, and I don't want us to go through all of it and then not have the questions that really matter answered. Okay, 55K months. Awesome. I love it, guys. Great. Well, we got a lot of big goals in here, and I'm really excited to get this started. So that being said, if you're ready to get started and you're excited for us to actually get this show on the road, go ahead and comment down below. Ready? We've got a couple more people jumping in, and we'll get the show on the road. Everyone's ready? Fabulous. I'm going to be drinking water a lot, by the way, because I always talk so much on these that I need to make sure that my voice doesn't completely crap out on all of us. So amazing. Okay. Well, let's get this started. So we are going to move over. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys. Can you guys all see the screen? Give me a thumbs up if you can see the screen. I just want to make sure that we are all good to go on this. Perfect. We can see the screen. So we're going to be going through the 6-figure intensive today. And a big thing that I want us to realize today, and we're going to obviously chat about this a bunch, is I'm just going to open up the chat here on the screen as well. Give me 1 second. Okay. So anyways, basically in the last 2 to 3 years, we've actually helped create an extra 200 coaches and entrepreneurs who are now doing 6 figures or above. And what I wanted to do is, in this training, it's basically like a massive case study. Because after helping, we worked with 600 people in total, 200 of them became 6 figures or above entrepreneurs. With all the people that we've worked with, we figured out basically in the different stages of your business, what exactly is it going to take for you to create the business that you're wanting to create. And so what we're going to be doing is basically, I'm kind of pushing all of these case studies together to give you the best of the best from all these people that we've helped hit 6 figures. And so now I did want to always ask the question, why us? And ask the question of why should you be paying attention to this today? And one of the biggest reasons that I want you guys to pay attention today is that not only because when I was back in the day an online fitness coach myself, and I had a multiple 6-figure business, but the biggest reason that I want to help you guys get to 6 figures or beyond is because there's a couple things that building a business like this does. Number one, it allows you to impact the world in a better way. We always talk about heart-centered coaches, people that actually care. And the world truly is at a place where, even in the last year with everything that's gone down, there's a lot of people that are hurting and are needing help in different areas of their life. And we want to make sure that you guys are thoroughly equipped to serve the world. A lot of people are so heart-centered, they care for people so much, but they never have the business part of their business actually set up the right way. So I want to make sure that you guys actually have your businesses set up in a way that's actually going to allow you to not only, you have clients, all those good things, but in addition to have the financial support for you guys, okay? So my screen's just being a bit funny here. Give me 1 second, guys. Apparently this is, there we go. I'm just going to stop sharing for 1 second. Apparently my slideshow was taking over everything. Oh, we got a couple more people need to let in. There we go. Okay, so six figures, and I'm gonna run through all the different people that we've helped get to six figures. Here, give me a second. My share screen is being a bit funky. We're just gonna do it this way. Okay, perfect. So obviously you guys have probably seen me share these different graphics quite a bit. And a big reason that I share these graphics all the time is because I just want to let you guys know that other people are hitting six figures or beyond, and you can as well. And the biggest thing with this is understanding that actually, maybe some of you guys don't know this. When I started as an online coach, I wasn't like any kind of like special or smart or like genius of an online coach that got me to where I am today. There's nothing that special. I should clarify. I'm a very special person. Yes, I'm worthy of a lot of stuff. But there wasn't anything remarkable or talented about how I got to six figures myself. And this is something I just wanted to share because I feel like everyone has this thought of I want to get there, but they have also beliefs holding them back. I grew up in a town of 300 people. I, out of high school, was working a construction job. I built homes. I didn't think about coaching at that point. I didn't think I'd be running $1 million business. I didn't think that I'd be impacting people across the world. I didn't think that like the ripple effect of the work that I did would actually help so many people. And I wanted to share that because a lot of you guys maybe deep down sometimes don't even believe that you can do it yourself. And I want to tell you guys that if someone like myself could do it, who like literally all of my like cousins, they're all like farmers, they're all like really simple, great people. But like, just so you know, you can do it too. And I'm really excited to show you guys how to do it. I mean, actually comment down below in the chat, how many of you guys sometimes have like a little bit of disbelief that you can do it? I mean, if you're okay with being honest, go ahead and comment down below. Because I want this to be like a supportive circle here today. I want this to be something that's, we're doing real talk. It's not just like fluff, like everyone's hitting six figures. We got some people here, lots of people that honestly, sometimes they don't know if they're gonna be able to do it. And I wanna instill belief in you guys here today. That if someone like myself who, I mean, basically I did graduate, but hardly graduated high school. And like, I didn't like, whatever. I wasn't like, anything special. If I can do it, you guys can do it as well. And so I'm really excited to share more, and I'm just going to keep on diving into this stuff. So now I do want to actually quickly run over why we actually get people to get to six figures. The reason that six figures and the whole craze about it, there's actually a couple logistical reasons why six figures is a great place to be. So a couple things to think about. So six figures is important because cash flow in business is life. If you don't have cash flow, the business is going to die. We know this. You probably have heard these statistics that 80% plus of businesses, they actually don't last like longer than a year or two. Okay. This is something that happens all the time. And so a big reason why we try to help get people to six figures is because most people, if they can bring $8,000 to $10,000 in a month in their business, they can float their business. They can float their lifestyle, okay? In the day and age that we live in, there is a certain amount of cash flow that you kind of need to live a decent quality of life. And six figures is pretty close to that place. Now, cash flow, once you have the six-figure cash flow, well, also, it'll be a full-time pay for most people. Most people, when we've done the kind of like lots of surveys, if they can bring in $4,000 to $6,000 a month, they are like making a full-time income. Now, at six figures with paying some taxes, maybe paying for a little bit of online software, that's right around that full-time pay. Now, the beauty of a six-figure business is that it gives you a full-time pay, which allows you to have all the hours in your day, if you want, to put towards it, right? A lot of people before six figures, or maybe they're working a different job, maybe they have some other commitments because they have to make money, make ends meet, whatever it is. But most people that get to six figures can fully commit to serving more people. And once you're in that place, you're out of the weeds. Because once you're out of the weeds of like always stressing about money, always wondering where your next client is coming from, that's a really, I mean, it's a scary place to be. I remember the 6 months where there were 6 months when I was making about $1,000 to $2,000 a month as an online fitness coach. And honestly, we were we were losing money every single month on like what we were spending versus what we were making. And I was in the weeds. I was very much in the weeds. And I'm going to share a bit more of how I got out of the weeds. But once you start to get out of the weeds and you actually feel like, oh my gosh, I'm out of the weeds, you actually are more creative for one. You're actually able to look around and look at what you're doing and actually figure out, is this what I want to do? And how do you want to build your business, right? Most people can't actually fulfill their calling and pursue their vision because they're in the weeds. And getting to a six-figure business allows you to get out of it. And for most people, once you get to that place, you have cushion to scale. So is this making sense so far? Just want to take a quick little break here. Any questions on this so far? I want to make sure that this is all extremely clear. Helen's finally out of the weeds. Yes, I love that, Helen. I know we've been working on that for a while. Making sense, making sense. Awesome, guys. 6 figures, as much as it seems like it's a very like marketable, like, ooh, everyone wants to get 100K, there is a lot of legit, like logical reasons for why you should get there as soon as possible, because honestly, at the end of the day, it's going to give you the time to breathe and the time to think. Because a lot of people, all they can think about is, I need money to survive. Once we can get out of that and you are like, okay, I have money to survive, then we can actually start to think of, what do you actually want to do with your life? You can start to actually pursue who you're called to be, okay? So now, we're gonna now dive into a little bit more strategies. Now, I wanted to make sure that everyone who's attending the workshop here today does have the Build Your Loop Method Funnel workbook, okay? So who does not have the workbook that they should have coming to this? Actually, if you do not have it, send me a message. Go ahead and send me a message on whatever, Facebook, email, right now. If you do not have the workbook, I'm gonna get one of my VAs. I'm gonna get one of my VAs to go ahead and send it to you. Does anyone not have the workbook? You can even comment in here. Our VA is gonna send it over your way, because I have something that I wanna make sure you guys are filling out as we go along, okay? So I want you guys that workbook just so that we have something that you can take some notes on. Also have a notepad outside of the workbook that you can just take some notes with. Who all has a notepad? Just comment down below notes if you do have something. I just want to make sure that we're all good to go on this. Notes. Candace, still in the weeds and still visualizing the life on the other side. Yes, I love that. Got it. People are taking notes. Perfect, guys. Okay, so now here's what I want to do. So there are 4 main pillars to a 6-figure business. Now, there's also a pillar 5. I'll go through it in the next slide. But for most people, there's 4 pillars. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give an overview here. And then we're actually going to run through each of these individually and help you guys actually build out what a 6-figure business would look like for you. Okay, guys? So the first step to a 6-figure business is what we call optimization of 1, or you can just do OOO. So everyone comment down below OOO, optimization of 1. So optimization of 1 is making sure that you are targeted, focused, you're actually honing in on the things that actually are going to move your business. There's a lot of people who they don't grow their business very fast or grow it at all because they're too stretched out. They're on too many social media platforms. They have too many offers. They're targeting too many different types of niches. They're honestly confusing their audiences. Now, I want to actually mention something here today that I think that a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people, they'll never ask the question, Ruben, why do I have to have an ideal client? Why do I have to have a niche? Why do I have to have like one core offer? Like, what's the purpose of that? I'm going to explain to you what the purpose is today. The purpose of targeted, honed in, focused niches, ideal clients, offers, etc., is for speed of growth. It's an acceleration tool. It's not because you have to be niche to have a good business. No. There's lots of businesses that are very unniched. I mean, Coke is a very unniched business. They want to sell to literally every single person on the planet, okay? That's not what I'm talking about. Niche will allow you to accelerate your business. So if you are very general, let's go with the general example. I'm a fitness coach. I help people get healthier. Okay, great. Versus someone who's like, let's say I'm an intuitive eating coach. and I help people move away from restrictions and to live a life of freedom. Okay, very, very different. The people who are specific in their marketing, they warm up their leads faster and can sell faster because they're hitting the exact person again and again and again and again. Basically, visualize it like this. If you have a general niche and a general offer, you're going to have to probably hit your target market 100 times before they buy. Okay, so like say you have to hit them 100 times before they buy. If you're targeted and niche down and have a really niche offer, you only have to hit your targeted market 10 times before they buy. You basically have 10, basically like it's 10 times more effective as far as speed goes. And I want you guys to really understand that. So let's go ahead and do another comment. Comment down below speed. Speed, and by the way, like business loves speed. Money loves speed. Because at the end of the day, the faster the stuff can happen, the more cash flow you have, which is good for the business health. And on the business health, if you can have more business health, you can get more clients, different things like that. And so speed is important here. So you want to have, and we'll dive a little bit more into this, but you want to make sure that you have the right offer, selling to the right people, and your messaging and your clarity is on point, okay? And I'll dive more in depth. Again, this is just an overview. I'm gonna go much more in depth on this. And some of you guys might already know some of this stuff, which, I mean, kudos to you if you guys already know some of this stuff. I just wanna make sure that we're covering all the bases here today before we go into the specifics. So people are loving speed. I love it, I love it. So the second pillar to a six-figure business is, and you guys probably, if you followed us for any length of time, know I talk about the loop method all the time. And so the loop method and having one loop method funnel is crucial for a six-figure business. Again, a lot of people use so many different social media platforms. They'll be on like 5 at once and they're doing like $2,000 a month. It's much better to become a master of one and get to 6 figures before you add in a second traction channel. To be completely frank with you, the people who run businesses that are doing $10 million or more, okay? So these are 8-figure earners. All the 8-figure earners, all of them think of channels and social media in this mindset. They think, can this one channel bring in $1 million a year? If the answer is yes, they pursue it and they get to $1 million a year. If the answer is no, they actually don't even think about it. And so the people who are at the top and they're doing the best in the business, they always think of, I want one channel to get up to be making $1 million for me, and then I will add another channel in. Okay? This is really important stuff, and I want to give you high level like information from the people doing the best because it actually trickles down to what we do at the beginning. So I'll give you guys a good example. So in our business, when we went from doing about 20K months to doing about 120K months, we actually still use just the same channels. I was only using Facebook and Instagram organic to make 120K per month. Now we've started to do paid traffic, and our goal with paid traffic is to actually make it add an extra 100 to 200K per month into our business. But we only honed in on one first, okay? So become an expert at one. Again, we'll dive more depth into that. Part of the loop method funnel that's really important to create a 6-figure business is KPIs to hit consistent revenue. A lot of people don't realize this, but like numbers are one of the most important things in business. I'll dive more into this later, but numbers never lie. Like humans lie like all the time. Numbers never lie. They're just what they are. And one of the reasons that we use numbers in business is because data is going to show us the truth of what's actually going on in our business. It's going to show us if we're actually doing the lead gen that we think we are doing. It'll show us if we're actually closing the right amount of people. It'll actually show us if our clients are getting good results or not. Numbers will show us all of that, okay? So that's another really important metric. Now, I'm going to quickly go through these and then we'll stop again for questions before we dive into the specifics. The third part is a value chain SOP. So a lot of people, that seems a little bit advanced, but just track with me here. Value chain SOP is basically, you can build a 6-figure business by yourself. You'll never be able to build a multiple 6-figure or 7-figure business by yourself. Solopreneurs start to burn out after 6 figures because they don't actually have a system in their business that's repeatable. So standard operating procedures, I'm going to show you little examples of this later, so don't think too much about it right now. And daily flow and trackers are so important as you scale to make sure that basically output equals input. You can have a consistent result in your business. And then last and final piece, and we'll go into this again a bit more later, is hiring systems and team delegation. This is one of the main reasons people like that we were working with, that we help them get to 6 figures first, then 20K months, then 40K months. And some of our clients even get up to 100K months. And most of it at that point is not doing the optimization of one or even the loop method, more it's the team and delegation that they can do. Day job as a hospital lab supervisor, always writing SOPs and data analysis. There you go. Yeah, super important stuff. And we'll dive into more of that as we go along. So I'm going to share one more slide, then we're going to do another small break for questions. Now, the fifth pillar that I was kind of talking about is mindset. Mindset is like a way overly used. It's one of those cliche sayings that a lot of people say. And so we kind of get desensitized to like the upgrade your mindset. I mean, who of you feel like you hear about mindset shit like all the time? Comment down below me if you like hear it like literally every single day and you're a little bit desensitized to it. Anyone? Just me? Just me? Oh no, we got some people. Tangents. I'm a mindset coach, and it's super important. Don't get me wrong. I just feel like we're all so desensitized to the word that a lot of times we forget to keep on thinking about how to actually upgrade our mindset. So, here's a couple points on mindset that I think need to be addressed before going any further. To build a 6-figure business, most people that want to build a 6-figure business have never, usually, not all the time, but usually they've never brought in that kind of money, sold that amount, had to believe in themselves that amount. And therefore, there's a couple things that we need to address. And I know I had to go through. I mean, every new level in business has its own devil, and a lot of those are mindset devils. But here's a couple that I know for sure people need to understand in order to get to 6 figures. Number one is like money mindset. I don't know about you, but I grew up in an environment where like money was seen as evil. It was seen as scarce. It was seen as stressful and all that kind of good, not so good things. And so I had to learn to create a bit of a better mindset and beliefs around money. I needed to see money as a magnifier, that it magnified good people and it magnified bad people. And I need to understand that money was not like something I was taking away from people. Money was something that people were investing for a better tomorrow. And so there's a lot of money mindset stuff. I'm not a mindset coach. I mean, I could probably say a couple things on mindset, so don't take this as like mindset coaching. But building self-belief was a massive thing for me when I was building my business. I kind of grew up always thinking to myself that I was going to fail at everything I did. It was kind of part of my, we could say, like core trauma childhood belief, if you want to call it that. And I had to learn to build self-belief in myself, doing simple things like just actually proving to myself that I could do something, pushing myself further than I thought I could, following through on when I said I was going to do something, building self-belief. Because if you don't build self-belief, a lot of people will never get to 6 figures because they actually don't believe they're worth it or that they could actually achieve it because it seems like just so far to reach. Again, I grew up in a town of 300 people. I thought I was lucky making $2,000 a month working like 80 hours a week. I thought that was lucky. I thought that was great. But building that self-belief in like, no, Ruben, you're worth more. You actually can impact more people, and it's a good thing to get paid more, and you should have belief in that. So yeah, some people are like, yeah, it's a stressful childhoods, 100%. Third one here, fear of the unknown. Lots of people never accomplish a result because it's the subconscious fear of what they don't know what it will be like. They're like, I don't know what it'll be like. I don't know what the business will be like. I don't know if I can handle that business. And I'll tell you right now, the process, again, another word that's so like everyone talks about, you have to fall in love with the process. They never tell you why you need to fall in love with the process. You fall in love with the process because if you don't, you'll never become the person who can actually handle the destination. I'm going to say that one more time. A lot of people don't understand the process transforms you into the person who can sustain the destination. This is really important. I'm actually going to go on a bit of a rant here because a lot of people want teleportation. They want to get to their goal right now and never have to go through the process. They want to be teleported to that result. Here's the issue. We know for a fact, all of these people who won the lottery, who didn't have good money mindsets before it, in a couple of years, they're back to their old self. Why? It's because they didn't go through the process of making $1 million. They didn't go through the process of becoming responsible, feeling worth enough, abundance enough to actually become the person who could sustain it. And so the process is going to be so important to fall in love with, because if you don't, you're never going to be able to sustain a result. And that's where we see a lot of business owners, they'll have a massive month, and then guess what happens? The next 6 months are crap. It's because it happened so fast, they didn't actually evolve enough to sustain that result. Super important stuff there. So how do you overcome fear of the unknown? Make the unknown known. Start to visualize, start to taste that future, start to do things that that future version of yourself would do. Basically, grab that unknown and bring it closer to you. In a lot of different ways you can do that. You can do that by visualizing things. You can do that by going and tasting things, like lots of people talk about. Go check out the car that you want to eventually go out drive, or the place you want to buy a house. Go like vacation in the place that you want to move, whatever it is. Go do it. Lindsay's not feeling called out. That's good. My goal is to call you out a little bit here today. Range Rover. Oh, there we go. I love that. And so the last part of here is self-sabotage. A lot of people self-sabotage their results. And it could be a couple different reasons. It could be fear of the unknown. It could be lack of belief. It could be money mindset. It could be a couple different things. But one of the things that one of my mentors early on taught me, he said, Ruben, at the end of the day, you have to stop being a backseat driver and start being the driver in the front seat. Because most people blame and point fingers for why they are where they're at. Now, here's the case. Not everyone is raised up in the same environment. Some people are literally more privileged than other people with how they're born, their environment, bunch of different things. So we don't all start at the same place, but we can all decide to do our best from what we've been given, right? So anyways, I'm not going to dive more into that, but we're going to be going into the optimization of one. Now, I want to take a quick pause here. Did that bring up anything? Any other questions that I can answer for you guys here today? Yeah, I would love to see if there's any questions before we dive into more of the tactical side. I really, really like to make sure that whatever, getting all your questions answered. No questions? No questions? Are we good to go? Are you guys ready? Any books you recommend for money mindset? That's a good question. Money mindset. I mean, there's the classic, like You're a Badass at Making Money is a pretty good one. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, that's a good one. Yeah, guys, put your recommendations down below if you have any stuff around money mindset. Honestly, for me, like I read books and listen to podcasts and stuff like that. The biggest things for me was always just like experiencing and really honestly just working through my trauma. For me, I don't know about you guys, but the best place for me to work through my trauma has always been therapy. And I'm okay to say that, like, therapy is where it's at for me, the wealthy barber. Awesome. I love that, guys. Love that. Okay, so let's get started here with more of the tactical side of everything. If you guys are good to go with that. Who's ready to talk about optimization of one? Who of you feel like you need a little bit more help with honing in your social media platforms, your offers, and your niche? Is anyone here like really ready to do that? Comment down below yes if you are wanting some help with that. Okay, we got a couple people. So let's talk about a couple pieces here. So let's start with niche, okay? So your niche should be targeted, focused, and specific. And I go through a little bit here what I talked about before, which is like the reason you pick a niche is not what most people think. The real reason is for speed. It's for speed. Having a focus on marketing allows for faster buying cycles and faster audience growth. And again, speed is not we're not talking about you need speed because we all should be making more money. Speed allows your business to survive. Okay, a lot of people get this wrong where they're like, oh, Ruben's giving me tactics that are just gonna make me a lot of money. He just cares about making money. No. I want your business to survive. Businesses that are slow don't survive. And if your business doesn't survive, you're not gonna serve the people that you wanna serve or fulfill the calling that you're placed on this earth to serve. And so I'm giving you tactical advice so that you can actually fulfill your calling here on earth, okay? Is that making sense? Comment down below, makes sense if that makes sense. The reason I'm sharing this with you guys is not just for the money. Money allows us to live in this world and have a good quality of life, but more than anything, it allows us to full-time serve, okay? If you don't have the money for a full-time job, for full-time income, you're gonna go find a job somewhere else, and you're probably not gonna serve the world in the capacity that you were called to serve people. So this is making sense. Good, 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 good. If you don't niche down, you grow slower. And there are stages in business where you can open up your niche. Usually companies that get to like making $1 million per year, they will start to then open up their niche a little bit just to allow a higher volume of people to work with them, okay? Now, that's not most of us yet, and so don't have to worry about that yet. Now, we wanna, in your niche, there's just a couple things that are important. You wanna have a specific person with a specific pain point and a specific destination of where they want to go. Okay. Now there's some people that go crazy on niche. They'll be like, you need to like call them out by name, their hair color, their exact like, oh, like if they have a dog or not. That's not what I'm talking about. You just need to be very clear on things like demographic, what you're helping them with, like gender, whatever it might be, like different things like that. So I want you to make sure that you have that specific person in mind. Now, there's a couple things here today in the 6-figure intensive that I'm not going to be able to like go through fully. Like I wish I could literally do like a half-hour training here on niche. We don't have the time for that. If at any point during today's training, there's like a specific area that you're just like, oh my gosh, I need more information about that. I need more information about that. Go ahead and send me a message somewhere. Yeah, go ahead and send me a message somewhere and just say, hey, I realize I need a little bit more help on this. Can you help me with this? So in niche, make sure that you have that specific person. Usually it's like a demographic, age range, genders are often pretty big kind of sensitivities you can put in there, the pain point and the pleasure that you have in mind. So that's where you want to be with niche. With offer, this is a big thing we're going to talk about here today. We're not only going to talk about how your offer should be formatted, but the price point on your offer. Because a lot of people want a 6-figure business, but their offers literally are like gaslighting their 6-figure dreams. Here's what I mean by this. If your offer is less than $300 per month, it's going to be incredibly hard to get to 6 figures. The reason being, most people, they'll have like a $200 per month offer or like less. Sometimes it's like a $50 per month offer. For you to sell hundreds of those a month to get to 6 figures is going to take a lot of time, a lot of energy, etc. So the offers that you're going to create, and again, out of the 200 people that we've helped get to 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 months, all of them have a high ticket offer. They might have like a downsell to a low ticket offer, but their core offer is something that is $1,000 or more for sure. Otherwise, it just gets incredibly hard. And again, I'm not saying that you need to do high ticket again for the sake of money. I'm doing it for the sake of you need to actually value yourself and get paid enough to do this full time. Once you're doing full time, if you want to create lower tier offers at that point to sell to more people who maybe can't afford your bigger offer because you do want to serve them, fabulous. You will never be able to serve those people long term unless you do have that high ticket offer. So we start with what gets you full time so that you can actually live your life and do this full time so you can serve more. Is this making sense? Comment down below, makes sense, okay? Now, your offer, like your niche, should be specific. A vague offer will create slow growth, right? A specific offer that is particular to that one type of person will sell a lot faster, okay? The reason is because it literally hits them deeper and is more irresistible, right? Like if I was to say, like, so here I'll say it like this. I could say, hey guys, I have a program that helps people make money online. And you'd be like, cool. If I said, I have like a coaching program that helps heart-centered coaches get to 10K months in 90 days, like money back guarantee, it'd be like, oh, that's very specific for me. That sounds very marketable, right? It's very niched. Make sure your offer is just as niched as your ideal client. If it's not, you're going to be losing out on a lot of that speed that we're talking about, okay? So I already said this, but for most of our 6-figure plus clients, their offers are 1K plus, and they deliver high results. It's very hard to grow to 6 figures with cheaper offers. Now, again, like I said, that doesn't mean you can never do cheaper offers. Just get yourself to a place where you're actually able to afford doing cheaper offers, okay? Now, the last part about optimization of one is taking your niche and your offer and putting it together in your branding and messaging, okay? Your branding and messaging is really important because at the end of the day, you need to show up on social media and show the world who you are and what you do in a clear way. A lot of people actually have decent niches and decent offers, but they are very vague about them on their social media. So every word, picture, color, video that is on social media needs to be clear and precise, okay? If you're an online entrepreneur, you are attracting and converting people on social media. Yet, most people are not clear on who they serve and how they serve on their socials. So get super clear in about sections, bios, highlights, pictures, etc. for who you serve and how you serve. This will not only grow your following in a more targeted way, but in most cases, it actually grows your audience faster because you have more people who see it who want to follow because you're actually clear. This alone will speed up trust, create a larger targeted following, and sell hot leads quickly. This is a big thing because, again, if someone's literally looking for what you have to offer and they come across your profile and it literally says exactly what you do, this is where you'll get those 1 to 3% of new followers actually like literally inbound reaching out to you being like, hey, I see you help people with this. I need help with this. And they would never do that if it was general or vague. So what I want to do right now is let's take some questions, or if you don't have any questions, comment down below which one here, the niche, the offer, the branding, you feel like you could work on a little bit, because I want to make sure that you guys are really targeting in on what you feel like you could work on. So go ahead and comment down below questions or the one that you're wanting to work on. Offer and branding. Offer. Sounds good. Sounds good. More offers. Honestly, offer is often overlooked because a couple of different reasons. Perfect. Offer and branding, content, niche, pain point. Totally, for sure, guys. And make sure that the stuff that you're putting here, you're putting on your notes and you're circling, because here's the thing. Lots of people want to get onto the quote unquote sexy stuff, the getting clients, making money, sales. That's all a lot harder if you don't have this set up. And especially if you want to scale a business, the more you want to scale the business, the more you have to have this stuff refined. I shared this story a little bit ago, but I want to share it again. This was last February, before the month before COVID hit the North America anyway. I was in a room in LA with a bunch of people who were doing like 10 million, 50 million, 100 million per year in business. And the funny thing, I thought, like, I'm going to get into this room, be with these people, and they're going to talk about strategy, right? They're going to talk about tactics. They're going to talk about social media this, social media that. 80% of the time, we were just talking about these three things. And I was like, I kind of left that weekend. I was like, why did these massive companies who are doing great things talk about these three things? And it just kept coming back to, if you don't have a proper foundation, your skyscraper is going to fall. The higher you want to build a skyscraper, the deeper the foundation needs to be. The more impact you want to have, the deeper the foundation needs to be. And so this right here, as unsexy, as many times as you've heard it before, keep going back to it, keep refining it, keep on looking over it, because the people at the top who are impacting the most people, they're literally looking at this stuff literally every single week. And so it's basically, after that story, I kind of came up with the saying of like, what's best for the business is getting better at the basics. And it's something I've stuck to since then. So no questions. Any questions? Did I miss any questions? If I missed any questions, guys, you can put them down below here. Is struggling dieter specific enough for niche? So I would just add to that, like, who's the struggling dieter? Is it a guy? Is it a girl? Is it like, you want to make sure that it's a bit more specific than that, because like there's probably hundreds of millions of struggling dieters out there. I would get more specific with that. What are they struggling with? Who they are as a demographic actually, and what is their like pleasure point? What's their destination? So a couple things I would add to that. feel like my offer is tricky because we don't actually ask the client to pay for our services. It's when they put their plan in place, they commit money to the price. Da, da, da. In other words, I don't control the price of the offer, I guess. Yeah. So in that case, Shauna, a big thing with your offer is you want to make sure that you're still marketing to a specific person with a specific pain point, and they want a certain destination, right? And so that doesn't change, even though you don't control the price of your offer. You can still control who you're marketing to, right? So that's what I would focus on. Again, if you can't control something, don't focus your energy on it. Focus your energy on the stuff you can control. So if we're doing one client for about 8 weeks coaching, one-to-one is 1320 too low. Kara? No, that's pretty good. That's pretty good to start. Depending what niche you're in and who your demographic in will change, like if they can afford that or if like the value exchange is worth that. But like just from what I know about you and the work that you do, that's totally fine. I'd probably raise it as you go along though. So, okay, perfect guys. Okay, so now I wanted to move on to the build your own loop method funnel. And this is where you guys need to pull out that workbook. Does everyone have the workbook? If not, what you guys can do is you can go ahead and send me a message on social media right now. Yeah, I want to make sure that everyone has the workbook. I feel like everyone does. I'm just going to quickly check out my social medias to see if anyone's messaging me on there. I don't think so. Okay, I think everyone's got the workbook. So let's dive into this. So the loop method, most of you guys know about it already, but basically we've tried to come up with a really clear-cut, watertight way to get clients. Now, I want to share something with you guys today that I don't think any other business coach, I'm going to say 95% of business coaches will not share with you. Most business coaches will tell you that you have to do this one way and all other ways suck, right? So there's the people saying, hey, Facebook groups are the only way. People saying Facebook ads are the only way. People saying organic is the only way. TikTok's the only way. Email, YouTube, Pinterest. There is so many different ways to build a business. Here's what I'm going to tell you guys today. As long as you can repeatedly get a client who is a stranger to actually pay you something and it's a profitable way of getting it, you have a business. It doesn't matter which way you do it. Now, I'm going to share with you guys a lot of stuff today, and I'm actually going to share with you multiple different ways of building businesses, and then I'm going to share with you why we get most people to start with organic social media. Again, it comes down to the fact that most businesses fail, and most businesses fail because of cash flow. Therefore, we want to create a strategy that is cash low intensive and high profitability, okay? That's what we're going to do. But the loop method, and make sure you have the workbook with you, basically we go through 4 different stages. Number 1 is what we call audience acquisition. Audience acquisition is one of the things that most people aren't doing enough or good enough. They may be building their audience, but they're the wrong people, or their audience isn't growing. Maybe it's even shrinking. This is one of the most important pieces to the puzzle, because a lot of people, you're taught how to produce content. You get free sales scripts all the time. You maybe even get messenger frameworks of how to message leads that are warm. But most people don't know how to get new people into their audience every single week, because without new people in your audience every single week, your business will never be sustainable or scalable. So the first section of the loop method is always building your targeted audience. It's audience acquisition. How can you acquire audience for X amount of time or X amount of dollars put into your business? Now, the second stage of the loop method, and I'm going to go through all of these step by step. We're going to literally build this out for you. Is if you want to think about it in a bit of an easier way, building a targeted audience is getting cold targeted people to follow you. Providing value to these people through value pieces, what we talk about all the time, is warming up these leads. The nurturing process is getting them qualified to actually sell to them. Sales is often getting the hot leads to buy, and delivery is often always getting these people actually really good results. So when you think about business, you can think about 3 different departments. We have marketing, we have sales, and we have fulfillment. Every business can be broken down into these simple chunks. So in marketing, we have the audience growth, providing value pieces, and there's also content creation involved. Sales system is qualifying leads and selling to them. And then obviously fulfillment is delivery, retention, upselling, referrals, etc. So what I want to do for you guys here today is I want to help each of you build out your own loop method funnel so you have clarity around how to get your next couple clients. Does that sound good? Comment down below, sound good if you are excited to build out your own loop method funnel here today. If you are excited, good, let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. Awesome, guys. So I want to share with you guys this, and this next slide here, I think is going to be one of the most helpful and telling slides out there of what a six-figure business takes, okay? Because this is a lot of stuff here, and obviously you guys are going to get to know all about this stuff, but there's a lot of stuff here. I want to show you guys exactly, out of 200 coaches that we've helped get to six figures or above, what are the actual numbers behind these six-figure businesses? And I want you guys to write these down, because this, if there's nothing else that you take away from today, this is like probably one of the most important parts, even though it might seem like some of the most unsexy parts. So what is a KPI? Great question. So a KPI is key performance indicator. Okay, indicator, I think I spelled indicator wrong. That's okay. You don't need to know how to spell words right if you want to build a great business. So key performance indicator. What indicates success versus non-success? A KPI is something, if you do it more, you get more results. If you do it less, you get less results. It's an indicator of this is going to perform well or not perform well. So here's something I want to share with you guys really quickly. Out of 200 people, again, that we've helped get to six figures, these are the averages of what they had to do to have a six-figure business. The average six-figure business, if you're using the loop method, needs 50 new targeted audience members coming to your audience every single week. So if you think about it like a 5-day workday or work week, it's like 10 new like targeted quality people following you every single day. Cool, okay, easy enough. Then there's 20 of those people need to become what we call, they're like VIP leads, which is basically once we connect them to a value piece, they'll actually say yes to, I want a value piece. Again, we're gonna talk about that soon. And then out of those 20 people, usually about 10 of them, you can get into a really great conversation where you can ask qualifying questions, figure out if they're ready to buy, wanting to buy, all those good things. And then you can probably get about 5 of them on a sales opportunity. And you'll probably at this point get 2 clients per week. Now, this goes back to when I was talking about the offer, because when I was talking about the offer, I said, you guys need to sell something that's probably $1,000 or more for sure. Well, here's where that broke down for me. If you get 2 clients per week for $1,000 each, there's your six-figure business, right? Even if you do payment plans, as the payment plans stack up, it'll be a six-figure business. If you do anything less, you're gonna have to have way higher numbers, which is then gonna be really taxing to get that many clients. So, who's written down that number, all these numbers right here? Comment down below me if you've written down these numbers. These numbers are like, people don't understand how important numbers are to their businesses, I think, personally. So, and actually, I'm gonna share with you guys here the story of how I figured this all out. When did I come up with the loop method? Why did I start tracking numbers, okay? So this was November, 6.5 years ago. I had been making about $2,000 per month for about 6 to 7 months. And to be completely frank, if we were to go another month or two at that pace, we were to have gone bankrupt. Like no joke, we were literally like negative money in the bank, credit cards maxed out, like everything was like literally I was like paying for gas in my car, like with quarters out of my wallet. Like it was not a good situation. Here's what I did. It was November, and I was like, hey, I need to make like $8,000 this month. Like something needs to shift. I had a whiteboard at the time, so I grabbed my whiteboard and I drew like an Excel sheet on it, right? So I drew an Excel sheet and I was like, okay, I'm going to add, at the time, I'll share with you what I added. I was like, I need to add 100 people into my audience add 100 people in my mind every single week. I need to like message these people. I need to provide value to them. I need to give them workshops, freebies. I need to then book sales calls, and I need to get clients, right? So I wrote down all those things, and I wrote down how many times every single day, like I need to do, okay?
What was your business at this time? Was it coaching like you're doing now? Great question. So that was when I was an online fitness coach. My wife and I actually were running that business together, but her health wasn't that great, so I was kind of running it solo at that point. And so, yeah, so basically I wrote this all out and I was like, I'm going to, for the month of November, be as like anal as possible to hit these numbers again and again and again, day in, day out, day in, day out. I was not going to finish my work until I had hit my numbers and I had done those steps. And in the month of November was the first month I made $8,600. We didn't have to go bankrupt. We were able to stay at our apartment that we were late for paying rent. And that's the start of how the Loop Method was created and how I finally figured out in my own way, how can I provide value to the world? And if I provide more value to the world, they'll pay me for my services. And that's where like value pieces were introduced. That's where this whole idea of like building a targeted audience, value lead generation, nurturing sales, all of it was born from. And so I was like, hey, I figured this out. So we kept on building our nutrition business. Obviously, slowly transitioned to business coaching over the years. And that's why numbers are so important. Most people, and I'm going to say this very lightly, most people, they're scared to track things in their business because they're scared of what's actually going on in their business. They're scared that they're not doing the right work, the right amount of work, and that they're maybe not skilled enough in certain parts of their work for it to be working the right way. And because we're scared of those things, most of us don't track things. It's kind of like people who are scared of money and therefore they'll never look at their bank account. They're like, nope, not logging in. Nope, not logging in, because we're scared of what we're going to see. Numbers, not going to lie to you. So what top 3 things should we track? Right here, Kara, I mean, these are the top things that people should track. Like, I'm going to actually go into trackers and data a little bit like further on today, but which will add a couple more things. But these are the main things you need to get in your business going. And I'll say this again and again and again. It's crazy how many times, and like here's the cool thing. These things, audience growth, getting value pieces out, nurturing and sales opportunities, they don't rely on, like, you don't have to do it in a specific way. We have clients on Instagram who are doing this, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, all the different platforms work with this system, because as long as you're hitting your numbers at the different stages of the funnel, you're going to get the same result. So yeah, BTA is build a targeted audience. Exactly. So any questions on this? We're going to dive into creating your own Loop Method funnel for all you guys, but any questions on that before we dive in? No questions? Going to give it a couple more seconds here to see if any questions do pop through. Example, 50 people per week. Yeah. So I think you're talking about building a target audience. So basically, like, the example would be like, let's say Instagram, like, and I'm going to go back here. Let's say build a target audience. The platform maybe that you're building your target audience, let's say it's on Instagram. Okay. So we choose Instagram as where we're going to grow our audience. Then we need to come up with the strategy for how you're going to grow your audience. Then we're going to track it, etc. Does that make sense? Or how many, and let me know if you have a follow-up question to that. How many clients did it take for you to get to that 8,600 for the month? Kelvin, great question, my man. By the way, good to have you on here. For me, I think it was either 8 or 9 clients. At the time, I was selling like it was $1,200 3-month fitness coaching package. So I had a bunch of them paying full, which was really good. Pretty lucky, actually. Well, not luck. I don't believe in luck, but it was a good thing that it happened that way. Any other questions on that before we move on, guys? We're going to be moving on to actually building out your own Loop Method funnel. So make sure you have your workbook in front of you. And we're going to be diving into all of this, okay? I think we're good on the questions. Perfect. So let's start with building a targeted audience. So you can bring out the workbook, and we can actually write together in here what this looks like. Now, we need to pick your platform. One of the things we talked about earlier today is optimization of one. We need to have one platform. A lot of people on here will probably be like, oh, Ruben, I can do 2 platforms. Yeah, you can. It'll just take actually more work to get to 6 figures. I'm not saying that you have to. I'm not forcing you. This isn't like gospel truth here. This is what's going to work best from the hundreds of people that we've helped. So you need to pick your platform. It needs to be one platform that you're going to use to grow your targeted audience. Remember, you don't need a massive audience for a six-figure business. You just need a steady targeted growth week by week. This will lead to your six-figure business. And this is a really important thing to realize. Again, a lot of business coaches, there's like two extremes. Some are like, hey, you can have a super small audience and have a great business. And other people are like, you need to have thousands of new people coming into your audience to have a good business. Like there's kind of two extremes. They're both half truths. The real truth is that you just need to have new people come into your audience every single week if you want to sustain or scale something. If your audience stays the same, you will eventually exhaust all of the good leads from it. And eventually you're going to be speaking to the same people again and again and again and again. And that's not that helpful. So here are the main ways you can grow your audience. There's a lot of different ways. I'm not going to tell you this way is the best, this way is better than that one. They all have their pros and cons, okay? Like I said here, none are inherently better or worse, even though business coaches will be like, this way is way worse. They all work. They all have their pros and cons. The key is to just literally just pick one at the end of the day. So I'll show a couple examples here. So we have manual organic ways of growing your audience. What does that mean? Manual organic is basically go and find your ideal clients on social media. And I actually have like a AAA system for this. It's like go find where like go to the activity of your ideal client, then look for the accounts of your ideal clients and then get their attention. Basically, it's like going out there. One of my favorite ways of doing this, and it's funny, I was reading a book yesterday from someone who's like making like 100 million a year. And it's funny because he literally in this book for coaches, he mentioned the same thing and he's like doing like crazy stuff. And I was just like, it's funny. Even the people who are doing like 100 times more than I'm doing, they're using the same strategy. So it gave me a good pat on the back being like, yep, we're on the right track. So manual organic is go find these people. Go engage with some of their content. Send them a really edifying, encouraging message about something that they said recently. Respond to a story. Go find these people. And again, if your branding and messaging, which we talked about in optimization one, is crystal clear, they'll follow you back. If it's not clear, they're not going to follow you back. What's the platform you've seen with the most success? See, this is one of those questions where I'm not going to give you a black and white answer, even though a lot of business coaches will. It depends on which platform is best for your niche. It depends on so many different things, right? Like we have clients who are literally doing like tens of thousands of dollars every month of a TikTok. Some of people are doing $50,000 a month on LinkedIn. It depends on how hard you push a platform, on where your demographic is actually at, and how skilled you are at the platform. Lots of people, again, will say so many things like, oh, this is better than that. This is better than that. Facebook ads are dying. I mean, Facebook ads are crushing it for us right now. Lots of people are like, Instagram outreach is dead. Instagram's doing great for us right now. So don't always believe that. So people not following back, messaging is not clear. That's a massive thing. Messaging is not, basically you have to think about it like this. When you get someone's attention, they look at your profile. They have about 3 seconds where they're going to be like, I will follow, I will not follow. If they're not following, something isn't irresistible enough. Something isn't clear enough. Something isn't trustworthy enough for them to actually follow back. So it'll take a little bit of time to optimize it, but once you get it clear, a good follow back ratio, I'll say right now here on the training today, is about 50%. So if you were to go out there and interact with 100 accounts, 50 people should follow you back if you have an optimized profile. Hey, you're welcome, Jerry. Words versus pictures for clarity. Can you clarify that question, Sam? I'm not sure I'm getting it. Yeah, just clarify the question. But as far as, so manual organic is one way to grow your audience. Collaborations are another great way. So find other people who have, basically they serve this, maybe the same audience as you, but in a different way. You can collaborate and like cross-pollinate audiences. Interact, does this mean just adding friends from group? Great question, Luke. So interaction doesn't have to be adding friends. It could be simply going and like liking some of their stuff and then they're coming to see your stuff and they're friending you. So interaction, there's like different levels of it, right? So there's like super in-depth, like some people will go like they'll like, they'll comment, they'll respond to a story, they'll message, they'll do like all of it. And some people, all they have to do is like respond to a story or just like comment on one post. It totally depends. You can do more or less. You can kind of test it to see what works well. Instagram, should you set up a separate profile for business or convert personal profile? This is, again, is a good question. If your personal profile has people who are going to buy from you, then just convert it. If your personal profile is just like families and friends, my personal take is like, I never use social media for personal life. Like if you want to have a personal relationship with me, let's do it outside of social media. My social media is for my business. That's how I think about it. But if your personal profile has people that would buy from you, you could totally do that. Sam's clarifying her question. IG posts with words that demonstrate what you're doing, selling versus the plan transformation. Again, this is a it depends answer, and I'm going to give a lot of those just because I'm not out here preaching a cookie cutter approach. I am going to be preaching to you guys. Every business is a bit different, and basically, I would need to understand who your ideal client is, how do they digest content on social media, and what that would look like for a content creation game. So we can definitely get a bit more customized on that, but that's kind of the answer that I'm going to give right now. Hopefully that makes sense. So anyways, I'm going to go through the rest of these. So I want you guys literally here today to pick one of the ways, the platform you're going to grow your audience on and the way you're going to do it. So platform, manual, organic, collaborations, viral content. So viral content is a way to grow your audience. Like one of our clients we're working with right now in CCI, she had a smaller Instagram following, it was like 600 people. We've really like nailed down her doing lots of Instagram reels, and she's been growing by about 100 people per week just from Instagram reels, and most of them are very targeted people, right? So viral content on the platforms, right now Instagram, obviously the reels, TikTok has virality on it right now. Facebook for some reason is bringing back hashtags. Maybe that's going to be viral content, different things like that. So, oh boy, we have a lot of questions coming in here. Same profile for personal business. I want my clients to see me as human interaction with my family. But again, that's just my take on it. Totally, Tanya. So that's what we call like a personal brand, where you can still basically you're showing parts of your personal life in your marketing, right? It's a marketing strategy to do that. And that's totally fine. Lots of people like to see personal life. But we just have to decide whether it's like could be very personal or a personal brand. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good, guys. So viral content's another way. Shout outs are another way to grow your audience. You can literally pay people to shout you out that are influencers, and you'll get new followers, right? A lot of people, actually right now, a lot of people are pushing on Instagram for shout outs, because if you get targeted shout outs, you can actually get some pretty good results from them. So it's a pretty good way to grow your audience. You do have to shell out money, and it's not a guarantee. But if you do it the right way, it can be pretty good. And then obviously there is paid advertisement. So paid advertisement is also a way that you can grow your audience. Yeah, real life, behind the scenes of my life. Yeah, I love that. How do you do hashtag research? Great question. So hashtag research, I mean, basically hashtags they're going to be a small part to growing your business. They used to be a bigger part of growing your business. So I wouldn't put so much weight in them. But my kind of rule of thumb is to find, usually it's about 20 hashtags that your ideal clients would be searching. And then I would just look for different amounts, different sizes of hashtags, right? Because if you choose hashtags that are all like a million, like people have posted about this, you're probably not going to get seen on them. But if you only post hashtags that get like 100, like only 100 people have used, it's a small pool. So I actually mix it up from small, medium, and large amounts of hashtags within my audience, what they're going to be wanting. So that's a little bit of how I do that. Again, it's not a massive part of business. It's a small optimization. A really good thing to realize with growing a business is there's things that we call optimizations and things that we call necessities. Necessities are necessities. They have to happen for you to get clients. Optimizations just make the necessities a little bit easier. So hashtags are optimization. Usually with their clients, especially to 6 figures, most people chase all these shiny objects that are just small optimizations, like a website, like the aesthetics of the photos, like making sure like that they have an email marketing campaign. Like those are all optimizations. Necessities aren't necessarily that. And also they aren't permanent on your feed. Yeah, totally, for sure. No, I love that. Anyways, I want you guys to literally write down in the workbook what platform you're going to be using and what's the strategy you're going to be using moving forward. Even if like you have a little bit of like questions around strategy, just pick one here today. We can definitely help you optimize it as you go along. The biggest thing is just like, let's pick something today. And actually what I want everyone to do right now is go ahead and comment down below the platform that you are picking here today. And even if you're still a little bit undecided, put down below also the
basically a way of growing the audience that you're picking right now. Okay. So we got people on Facebook. Can you share more on viral content? Yeah, definitely can. Definitely can. Yeah, love this, guys. Love this. So as far as viral content, basically every platform has the ability for viral content, like content that will get pushed out beyond your audience. Some platforms are better for it. Usually the newer platforms obviously have more virality because they want more people to be on them because they're going to get a lot of exposure, like TikTok's a fabulous example. Instagram's trying to compete with Reels. Facebook, like I said, I've started to see more posts from influencers on my page than I have in the past. And I feel like they're pushing out stuff that gets a lot of reaction. So there's different things like that. IG manual, referrals from current clients. Yeah, referrals are fabulous. That's a great traction channel. I think Instagram, manual organic, I'm not really sure. Totally, yeah. I mean, honestly, manual organic, it takes time, but it's one of the most profitable centers for a lot of people's businesses. I'll share with you exactly our numbers. Like our Instagram organic, I have like a virtual assistant that helps me with this. I spend about $2,000 a month on the VA, and it's consistently producing anywhere between $25,000 and $40,000 a month. So the ROI there, the profitability is like super, super high with Instagram organic right now, for me anyways. What number are we on the workbook? Building a target audience. Yes, exactly. That's the one. That's the one. So in that workbook, you can actually, so here you can do the build a target audience, put in your platform here, put in what strategy you're going to use. And for you guys, I mean, customize how much you're doing versus like where you want your goal. So if you want 2 clients coming in per week, probably that's going to be about, you need about 50 people coming to your audience. If you want more, like just add the numbers up, right? So if you're like, no, I want a business that does 20K per month, okay, then just add that up. I should literally come up with a calculator for this so you guys can just put it in. What are the steps on Instagram organic your VA does? Could you give examples of strategies? Yes, I knew we needed a lot of time to go through all of this because there's just so much here. So, okay, stop typing. I need to answer these questions before I get there. There's too many here. Steps to Instagram organic your VA does. Great question. So that's the first thing that we get them to do is we get them to research like where our ideal clients are hanging out. What accounts are they following? Who are they engaging with? Where are they commenting, etc. So we go out and we find them, and then we come up with really personalized ways of connecting with them because everyone's like messaging people and being like, hey, buy my thing, or like really like stupid questions. We try to like really customize stuff and build a real relationship with people. So build a lot of, basically you build rapport first, then you ask permission to provide extra value. Once you've provided additional value, that's when you tunnel towards those qualifying questions. So I know that's a bit of a brief overview, but those are some examples of that. Could you give examples of strategies? So yes. So let's say build a target audience. I mean, these would be the examples right here: manual organic, doing collaborations with people in your niche, viral content push outs, shout outs, paid ads. Those are the strategies themselves. And then obviously how they function is a bit different for everybody. I'm going to focus more on collaboration. Collaborations are great. We have some people who literally, they do like 2 to 3 collaborations a week, and they're doing like 10K months. Because if you find, like, let's say we find someone who is like a nutritionist, and let's say they are, there's someone that's like a mobility coach. Their audience probably overlap a decent amount. So if you collaborate, you're not stealing from one another. You're actually like providing value and cross pollinating. Hopefully, Kate, that actually helps with your question. Usually for collaborations, by the way, people either do like lives with each other, or they'll do like, so people were doing Clubhouses. Clubhouse is kind of dying right now, to be completely honest. Or like they'll do like swaps where like you come on my Instagram stories, I go on your Instagram stories, different things like that. Interested in collaborations too. Yes, collaborations are great. They're really great. And often the people who follow you are pretty hot leads right off the bat because like they saw something and they literally followed you. Like it's a bit of a warmer lead. Awesome. Why do you think Clubhouse is dying? Great question. Because all the people who are at the top of the game are moving away from it as a lead source. That's why I think it's dying. Not because it's still going to be around probably for a while. Just the people that I know, like a lot of people that are doing $1 million upwards to $10 million a year, they're moving away from it. They're just, they were in it and it was working. And then like for them, they pulled out. And so the reason that I think it's dying is because of that. Usually where the top people are focusing their time and attention is where you want to be doing the same thing. So anyways, are we ready to move on to the second step of the loop method? If we are, comment down below. Yes. Yeah, you're so welcome, guys. People are ready to move on to the second step. Okay, value pieces for lead generation. When I was in that November that I told you guys about, where it was like do or die time, basically, this is one of the things I discovered. Before that month, I had basically been told by my business coaches, basically like when you connect to someone, you straight up ask them a couple questions and get them on a sales call right away, right? It was a very direct sales kind of strategy, which sometimes it works. On LinkedIn, it actually works pretty decent still. But what I realized is that there's a lot of people who just needed to trust me more and get more value from me. So I came up with this whole idea of like, if I could provide a piece of value, therefore we came up with the name value pieces, to every prospect, if it could warm them up, get them to know, like, and trust me a little bit more, and maybe provide a quick win for them and give them a taste of my coaching, maybe they buy from me quicker, right? Owner spot of the loop method. Yeah, so for now, most of you guys, by the way, like, yeah, this owner section down here, most of you guys are the owner of these sections for now. But the reason I wanted to put that in there is because a lot of you guys have bigger goals than 6 figures. A lot of you guys want 20K months, 50K months, 100K months. At the end of the day, as you scale your business, the key to scaling is actually getting someone else to own the system for you. A closer doing your sales for you, a setter doing your lead generation for you, co-coaches to do your delivery for you. The only way you can scale to bigger numbers is either through automation or delegation. Therefore, the owner of systems eventually becomes someone else. A little bit of a hint to where we're going with all this. So anyways, value pieces. This is, honestly, for me, this is like the main KPI if someone wants to hit 6 figure, that I'm like, look at this, look at this, look at this. If you can get 20 new people every single week, a new value piece, okay? And it doesn't have to be like a brand new value piece to you, just they're getting a value piece for the first time from you. That's gonna create a 6-figure business. And this is one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life. Like, people, when they come to me, they're like, Ruben, as soon as I started getting out 20 new value pieces per week, I started to get 2 new clients per week. It was like, it almost was like I had to try to make that not happen, because it was just happening again and again and again and again. And it's basically just I mean, yeah, like you guys probably can see, it's a 10% conversion rate. 10% of the people who get a value piece are probably going to become clients of yours at some point in the next 30 to 60 days. That's usually the buying cycle. So a value piece, I'll dive into this a little bit. Again, I wish I could go through a full training on value pieces. Again, if you want a training on any one of these specific subjects, you can message me afterwards. Doesn't that mean you're constantly creating new pieces? Actually, Kara, at the end of the day, you probably should only have about 7 value pieces. Actually, I had a little diagram that explained this the other day. You should only have about 7 core value pieces that you can just use again and again. You can kind of remake them. But honestly, most people at 6 figures, you only have like 2 or 3 value pieces. You're just getting them out to new people, right? That's why so this is a really good thing. So how do we get out 20 per week? Well, the only way to get out 20 per week is if you actually have 50 people following you per week who are new ideal clients, right? That's really, really important. That's really important. The only way to get out new value pieces per week is if you have new audience members per week, which is why you have to follow the system like these numbers, like I showed you guys. It has to be this. If all of a sudden your audience isn't growing, guess what happens? Your lead gen starts to die. If your lead gen starts to die, your sales starts to die. If your sales start to die, you don't get any clients. That's why the system works the way that it works. Hopefully that makes sense. Oh, Taylor helped you create one last week. That's awesome. Taylor's great. You saw probably some of you guys have been in chat with her in our group. So value pieces do a couple things. Provides them a quick win. It grows know, like, and trust, and positions you as the authority because it gives them a taste of what it would be like to work with you, okay? So now there are 2 ways, and again, I don't have all the time in the world to go through this today, so I'm gonna try to keep this short. There are 2 ways to get more value pieces out. 2 mechanisms, and everyone comment this down below because this is important. You can either get it out via content or conversation. Oh, I added a B in there. Comment those down below, content and conversation. Because here's the thing, literally there's no other ways to get these value pieces into your ideal client's hands. So you can talk about it in your content with a call to action, or if people are engaging with your content
You can message them and be like, hey, I noticed you enjoyed this piece of content. I have this other thing that you might like. I think I'd like to send it your way. Are you okay with that, right? So content and conversation are the only two ways to get out value pieces, whether it's like your own content, whether it's collaborations, whether it's paid marketing, whether it's conversations that you're sending out, whether it's people are messaging you and then you bring it up in a conversation. The only two ways to get them out is content and conversation, okay? Literally no other way to do it. If we do a post saying I had this, do we make it a contingent on them having a call with you? No, I wouldn't make it a contingent on a call. Yeah, I would just like, if you do have a post saying, hey, I have this thing, you can just send it out to them, right? Some people will like have opt-ins where they'll like, you have to get the email to get it, or like you have to join a Facebook group to get it, but you don't make it contingent. I would never make it contingent on a call with you. No. So now here's a couple examples of value pieces. So they could be like a PDF, right? So all of you guys right now have in your hands a build your own new method PDF. Case in point, right there. We have workshops that they could come and attend. We have challenges. You have ebooks. You could do like mini courses. There's just so many different ways you could package up a value piece. A couple things really important, write this down, write this down, write this down, is your value piece and how you deliver it is dependent on your ideal client. This is really important. Some ideal clients, they will want to read through a 10-page PDF. Some ideal clients, literally, if they don't see something useful in the first 3 sentences, boom, they're gone. They have very low time to actually look at stuff. So you have to make sure, and this is what we do with our clients all the time at CCI, is we craft value pieces that are actually going to attract your ideal clients, and they're actually like digestible for who your ideal client is as a person, which is again, back to the foundations, optimization of one. If you don't have optimization of one, your value pieces, they ain't gonna convert. They're just not going to convert, okay? So the key is to make them specific for only your ideal clients. Really important stuff here, guys, okay? Any questions on value pieces before we move on to the next stage of the loop method? Also, thanks for all the guys who are making Instagram stories about this. I always love that. If you haven't yet, you can take a quick Instagram story, tag us. That's always appreciated. Free marketing, right? Just being transparent here. This is good. I started journal prompts to my clients. Journal prompts, yeah, it's a great idea. Actually, my wife has a value piece for journal prompts. She's folding laundry while reading it and thinking, maybe you think my voice messages are of more value. Yeah, great question. Great question. So yeah, if your ideal client is a mom, yeah, voice notes would be great. Probably like short videos. I'm sure PDFs, like stuff, yeah, probably stuff like that would be pretty good. So it's beneficial to do research by going into these groups and ask what kind of resources your people want. That's what I've been doing. Yeah, I mean, market research literally for everything. Content, sales, offer, retention, everything is ask and you shall get the answers. So 100%, that's really, really great stuff. Awesome, guys. Sometimes I send previous posts of mine as value pieces in the chat. Adam, yeah, that's a great way to do it as well. If you have like a super high value post, you can literally like, especially on Instagram, or I mean, you can do it on Facebook too, right? Share to Messenger, or on Instagram, you can do like that little like airplane thing, share to someone like in DMs or whatever it is. So yeah, especially if you're doing like on Instagram, like if you're doing like long form content, like long captions or like long like IGTVs, really, really awesome stuff that you can send over to people. So this is, again, I mean, this is one of the keys to a really, really great business is these whole value pieces. Because at the end of the day, we are actually transitioning into the stage of online marketing. People are starting to call it the skeptic age of online marketing, because a lot of people have already bought stuff and a lot of people have gotten burnt. So the general feel of the online space is people have become a little bit more skeptics. They need a little bit more to like trust someone. They need a little bit more free stuff. And so we're moving into that day and age of the skeptical age. So value pieces are more important than ever to grow, basically get the skeptic out of the prospect, if you want to say that. Got some more questions. Do you recommend when you do a value piece that you just send and follow up or ask questions? Ooh, yeah, great question, Kate. So there's a couple different ways to go about it. I'll tell you what I used to do and what I do now. I used to give it to them and be like, awesome, you know what? I'm going to check up in 2 days to see how going through this homework and implementing goes. How does that sound? And they'd be like, awesome, yes. So you can do the whole like homework approach, and that still does work. I think for some niches, it actually might even work better. For our niche, there's a new way that I think works a little bit better. But you can do the whole like homework approach of like, I'll check in a little bit, see how that homework's going. The second approach is where you send a value piece and then you follow up immediately with a message, right? So a common example, like I did like a call to action, I think was yesterday for like a checklist on how to get to 10K months. So I sent out the checklist and then immediately I was like, hey, are you okay actually if I ask a couple more questions? I want to make sure you're connected with all of our resources that would be helpful for you. And then usually they're like, yeah, totally go for it. And then we dive actually into a conversation. And sometimes I'll just send them another resource then, or sometimes I'll be like, hey, you know what? My personal opinion is we should jump on the phone. Like I'd love to share with you a little bit more like how we can help you with this. And so those are the couple different ways to do it. You can do either the like, yeah, more like big approach, or you can do a little bit more of like the homework approach. Totally up to you guys at the end of the day. So I love asking people if I can bring their questions into the stories and then get my discussion going around them. And I can launch a new post and tag them in to increase engagement. Yeah, that's a great idea. Great idea, Carly. Yeah, just get people watching your stuff, providing value, creating discussion. That's what business is all about. Okay, guys, we need to keep moving. We only got, wow, okay, this has been an hour and a half. Isn't that crazy how fast an hour and a half goes? I feel like if I, outside of this stuff, I don't know if I could ever talk for an hour and a half. I feel like this is like a miracle. Anyways, we're gonna keep moving on. Let's move on to the third step of the loop method, nurturing leads, getting paid to do your calling. Exactly, right? Great, it's great stuff. It feels great. So once a lead has said, I want a value piece, basically you can think of it like, you know what? Like they've taken a small step of commitment with you. Now let's see if they're willing to go a bit further. Basically, if someone says yes to a value piece, they're giving you permission to go into more of like detailed question, asking them about their goals, the struggles, etc. So once leads have been connected to a value piece, we now know a couple things. They are warmed up to us. They are interested in pursuing a goal that we can probably help them with. They trust us enough to get our free stuff. Okay, we know a couple things. Now, this is the time in a lead's buying cycle to gather some more information, some more data around their exact goals and their struggles. This is where we tunnel them into a conversation that tunnels towards a sales opportunity because they have shown us that they're not only ready, but also willing to work on themselves, right? A lot of people used to sell to people too fast, right? The classic, like asking people to marry them on the first date. It doesn't work anymore. This is where you need to actually understand we provide value first. We ask permission to ask more questions. I always like to say the old messenger kind of process was like straight line to sales. Now you need to do value forward and permission-based messaging. That's how to be a heart-centered entrepreneur, in my opinion. Value first and permission-based. No steak and wine before jumping into bed, James. Exactly. So this is really important. So out of about 20 people you send a value piece, there will be people who literally will just not stop responding to you. They wanted the value piece and now they're out, right? But I would say about, if you can get to a half conversion rate, so 20 value pieces out per week, 10 great conversations per week, this is going to be really, really good. So is this, oh, currently there's a question. Right, for them, it's 50 new followers per week, 20 of them become new leads who wanted your value piece, 10% will buy within 90 days. So if you have a flow going beyond activating these numbers, you'd be getting 2 new clients per week, and those are generally 6-figure numbers. Exactly. Yeah, the numbers we're sharing today, again, as long as it's like $1,000 offer or above, is like a 6-figure business. Obviously, if your offer is like $5,000 or $10,000 and you're doing more of this, like then stuff alters. But I'm kind of giving a normal stuff. Do you run ads to sales calls or into a nurture sequence into your group? Great question. So we're just using ads right now as an audience growth mechanism to a value piece, right? So basically, I'm taking my organic strategies and I'm just amplifying it with ads. That's what we're doing right now. So our ads are just to grow our Facebook group, provide more people value, get more people on our email list, text list, etc. So that's what we're doing right now. That might change in the future, but right now it's working really, really great. Check the replay totally for sure. Hope you enjoyed it. So that's the nurturing process. And then obviously sales opportunity. I mean, sales is part of the business. It's the lifeblood actually of the business. If people are having 5 sales calls a week, usually with a high ticket offer, you have a 6-figure business. Now, heart-centered coaches, more than anyone, need to understand something, that sales is not bad. How some people do sales is bad. This is a really important distinction. Sales really should be service at the end of the day, where you are serving people so well that they want your program. It's how it should be. Now, if you have an average, what we like to get for most of our clients is up to at least a 30 to 40% close rate. You need 5 great calls weekly to have the business of your dreams, 6-figure business. So if you can have 30 to 40% close rate, you're doing really good. If it's a bit below that, definitely work on that. If it's a bit above that, power to you, crush it, right? So another thing with sales scripts and frameworks, they're great. Don't get me wrong. Like actually our sales, like our sales training that we give to our clients, we still give them scripts and frameworks. But in the day and age that we live in, situational awareness and contextual sales is actually becoming really important. What I mean by that is that you need to be situationally aware of where your lead is at. You need to be asking better questions to figure out where they're at. And also, what I was talking about, so situational awareness is great, but you also need to understand like everyone's a bit different. So actually learning to mirror energy and all these different things. We'll get some questions here. I'm gonna pick them up. Are these sales calls one-on-one? Yeah, usually these sales calls are one-on-one. That's kind of the most normal way to do them. Yes. So make sure you do have like the scripts and the frameworks that are actually tried and true, but be aware when you need to change the script in order to fit the situation. Is this making sense? I haven't asked that question for a bit, so let's comment down below. Makes sense. If it does. Also, any questions on the nurturing process and sales process? Want to make sure that we're all doing good. We're all doing good. Awesome, guys. Getting better calls, they're my hardest part. Yeah, I mean, for most people who've never really done sales before, I mean, it's totally fair that sales would be one of the harder things to learn. Great story for you guys. When I was starting as an online fitness coach, my sales were so bad that my wife, Terry, she would leave the house when I did sales because she did not want to hear me on the phone because I was that bad. So if someone like myself who is literally cringeworthy can build a business that I did, we can do it as well. It'll take some time, but you can get there. Oh, shoot. You said 10 conversion with 20 leads per week. Yes, yes, I top up. Hey, you are super welcome, Karen. 40% conversion with 5 calls per week, 2 people per week. Yeah. And this is why I share the math with you guys, right? So that you have like a target to go after. You have something that you can literally be like, okay, this is my goal. This is what I'm pursuing. These are the strategies, etc. So overall, that's what the loop method is. We have front funnel activity, which is growing your awareness and building your target audience. We're going to have middle of funnel stuff, value piece and nurturing, providing your audience with free value, and then dive into conversation. And then we have back of end funnels, right? Offering calls, sales opportunities, etc. So when you have these things dialed in, you now have a system that can turn cold leads into paid leads again and again and again. And you have like it in a system, because then if something's not repeatable to get clients, don't do it. I'm going to say it again. If something's not repeatable, that's going to get you a client, don't do it. It's a waste of your time, because you want something that's repeatable so that it's actually consistent, so it's scalable, so it's sustainable for you and your business, okay? I understand better when there are targets. Yeah, I think we all do. I think that's really, really great. So, okay, I have 2 more things that I wanted to dive into here today, guys. So, like I said at the beginning, right, there is the whole value chain SUPs and team and delegation. For most of you, you don't really need the team and delegation right now, but it is a piece down there I'll probably talk about more. But I do want to talk about the value chain SOPs and the trackers, because this is something that's really game changing for a lot of people. So I'm actually going to share a different screen here with you guys. By the way, who has been finding this great so far today? I just wanted to do a quick check and see how we've been doing here today. Awesome. Got people commenting down below. Good. So I want to share with you guys something really, really important. Here, I'm just pulling up my screen to share with you the right screen. Make sure I'm not sharing the other screens. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to share with you guys what an SOP is, okay? An SOP stands for Standard Operating Procedure, okay?
once you have a system, once you have like your platforms that you're building your target audience, how you get value pieces out, still don't fundamentally know how to build my target audience. We can dive more into that later for sure. For sure. We'll make that happen. Make that happen. So I'll dive through this, guys. We'll have a couple other things we need to chat about. Then I'll stay on and we can just do some Q&A at the end. So an SOP is a standard operating procedure. What does that mean? Basically, you want to take the system that you created. Okay, this is exactly how I grow my audience, or this is exactly how I get value pieces out, and you want to put it down on paper. Okay, the reason you want to put it down on paper is because eventually you want to hand the system off to someone else. Like I said, one of my VAs, who I pay $2,000 a month on my Instagram, is bringing in like $20,000 to $40,000 a month. And the reason is because I created a system and I put it down on paper. So we create these SOPs. We have like a system overview, the definition of done, who's involved, and then we have like a detailed step-by-step and daily method of operation for our team, KPIs to track, all that kind of good stuff. So we create a system for every part of our business, because when we do that, I can hand things off, right? Because I cannot by myself run a company that does $150,000, $200,000 a month. I can't do it by myself. I need a team. Now, most people, once they hit 6 figures, when they want to get to 20K months or 30K months, they'll need to hire their first couple people for their team, okay? So usually they'll hire a virtual assistant, someone that can help them with generating leads, building their audience, different things like that. And so you want to make sure that you have those standard operating procedures, because that ensures consistency and it ensures scalability. Because if you don't have those, lots of people will have like big months and then it's going to fall, right? They'll have like a 10K month, 15K month, 20K month, and then down to 3K months, because they don't have that consistent way and a system to actually make this happen. Now, the last piece here that I wanted to dive into on today's training, in addition, is now that you know the numbers, and question, how many of you guys found the numbers helpful today? How many found the different numbers that we went through in the different areas of business helpful? Comment down below. I'm super curious to know how many of you found that part super helpful. Got a couple of people. Got a couple of people. Awesome. That's great. That's great. And I want you guys to fall in love with numbers. A lot of people, they're scared of numbers, like I said before. And I want you guys to find a place where you honestly are you're ecstatic about numbers. You're ecstatic to hit the numbers. You're ecstatic to know that the numbers mean that you're going to get clients, all those kind of good things. So here's what I want to do. Yes, looking to calculate based on my offer. Exactly. And a lot of you guys are going to have to go back to a bit of the drawing board and be like, okay, now with these numbers, this is how many clients I'm going to get. Either I need to increase my price point, or I need to increase the numbers to get the amount of clients that I'm looking for, right? It's all really, really important to have all those things put together. Zach helped me with it a bit this week. Yeah, Zach's like the number king on my team. That's why I have him, because he's great. So here, let's go into data and tracking and how we do this with our clients. I'll share with you guys a literal example. So this is actually from one of our clients, Jessie. We actually helped Jessie get her business to now she's doing about consistent $30,000, $35,000 a month. So we give each of our clients like a little tracker that we use. So we track the different areas of the business. Basically, you can see here, these are the loop method, pieces of the loop method. We add a couple things like content creation, revenue, different things like that. And we track client capacity, right? Because a big thing also is people don't know when clients are going to be exiting out of the program and when they should be either re-signing them or looking for that revenue to drop in and getting more clients in. So we track a couple things like that, especially because like even Jessie with her team, like we've helped her hire co-coaches who have clients coming in, going out, different things. It's important to track. But as you can see, total revenue projected, you can see that Jessie here has now gotten to a place. Before working with us, she was having high months than normal. So like she had some high months of doing like 9,000, then go down to like 2,000. But working with us, she's been able to consistently get clients week by week by week by week, because we're actually tracking what goes on in her business. And actually, we actually have an example tracker that we've shared with people who are in our Facebook group that we can definitely send out to you guys as well, if that's something you guys want. So what I would do if I were you is, just like I shared with you guys that story of how when I was doing it, I just drew it out on my whiteboard and I just made it happen. I was like, these are the numbers I need to hit. Every number has a strategy attached to it. Every strategy has a platform attached to it, and we get it going, okay? So that's the main things. I want to Yeah, that's perfect. So any questions around any questions around the data, the tracking, or the SOPs? Any questions around that? I want to make sure we get all those questions for you guys. Do you suggest to stop focusing on content and more on the value pieces? Great question. I mean, content's good. Content, like, I mean, especially on most social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram, you should be posting a decent amount. LinkedIn, less. TikTok, way more. Different platforms, you need different things. Definitely still be focusing on content. It's still a really, really important piece of the game. I didn't talk about content too much on today's training because I feel like most of you guys you've probably been taught a lot about content. If you guys don't know a lot about content, again, we have like a free course. It's like 3 types of client getting content I can send your way. I didn't really want to focus on it in today's training because it's actually content, in my mind, it's more of a positioning optimization tool. It's not necessarily like a client getting tool. I worry I focus too much time on content. Yeah, you want my content course. If you guys want the content course, send me a message. Yeah. Is it possible to start one-on-one with only a weekly call, or would you recommend to have some recordings to give away? Louis, can you actually rephrase that question? I'm not sure I understand the question. But I'm going to try to answer the question, but maybe rephrase it just in case I don't. It is possible to, when you start to just do like videos that are value and giving to people, I think that's what you're asking. You don't have to have like PDFs and stuff like that off the front end. Like when I started giving out value pieces, I grabbed my phone like this. I would like shoot like a quick 3-minute video helping someone with a certain topic, and I'd send it over to them. That's how I started. Again, this is another area where just doing the work is better than perfection. So hopefully that makes sense. Can we get a copy of the SOP sheets? Ooh, great question. I've never given that out to anyone. Yeah, send me a message. I'll send it to you. Kara, let's see, yeah, you're doing that. Yeah, that's awesome. Great answer. Okay, because that could stress. Yeah, no, don't think that you have to have all these things perfect or ready or whatever it is. Yeah, that piece to nurture your audience and content to grow your audience. Yeah, content, it kind of, and this is actually where I'll go back to showing this. Content, as you guys can see here, it can help with growing your audience. It can help with getting out more value pieces. Like I said, how do you get value pieces out? Content or conversation. As far as nurturing, like it can nurture them if you do like story content, social proof content. And as far as like selling to people, it can sell to people, right? Like it kind of does all the things along the loop method. So a healthy content framework, in my mind, is you have content that tries to do these 4 things, right? So hopefully that makes sense and that provided some value to you guys. Love that. Just doing the work is better than perfection. Yeah, exactly. You know, any other questions on that? I want to make sure that we have all of those questions that are answered, guys. Awesome. Yeah, if you guys want those things, just send me a message or an email if you're wanting any of like these things that I'm talking about that we can send out your way. Difference between macro and micro value piece. Okay, yeah, this is a very minute question, or I should say very detailed question. So I wouldn't think too much about this, Adam, but a macro value piece is when it's one value piece to many people. Micro is 1-to-1, right? So if I send a PDF to 1 person versus if I host a live stream for 30 people, that's the difference. They kind of function differently, and certain niches should use more than others. Like for instance, I know we have some people on here who work with like very busy professionals or entrepreneurs. Macro value pieces are not as helpful as micro because these people are busy, they're not going to come to something or whatever it is. So it's yeah, a little bit different for different niches. So anyways, any other questions on that before we keep on diving in? We got another 15 minutes. Wow, time is just flying by. So what I want to do today, guys, is I want to actually ask you guys here. I'm just a second. Changing my chat settings. Are you collecting emails when people join your Facebook group? Yes, I am. Emails are great to collect at any point, whenever you can. Like, eventually, you want to own a great email list. So yeah,
Perfect, perfect. Sounds good, Kara. Now, what have you guys found most helpful today? I want you guys to put in the chat down below. What have you found most helpful? I always love to know. And I want to help you guys, obviously, with your next steps in business. So comment down below what you found most helpful. All of it. That's good. If I have a document that's quite long, would it be useful to do like a live reading of it? It could be, yeah, it definitely could be, Sarah. I would have to know a bit more details, but for sure. James said value pieces was the most helpful today. Sounds good. Sounds good, guys. Awesome. Okay, this is perfect. Having actual numbers, and you get back to basics. Oh, great stuff, on the right track overall. Good stuff, guys. So I have a loop method process. Well, good, good, good. And if you guys have any questions, like obviously keep on putting those things down below. I want to make sure we're getting all the questions answered we possibly can. I've never made the time to write out an SOP, but hearing this whole new is how important it is, and we'll relieve so much stress over hiring people. Yeah, when you hire people, if you don't hand off something that's clear, they're going to give a result that is not defined. It's just how it works. How important the basics are, numbers, KPIs. I love that. Love, love, love that. Great, guys. Okay, so I have one final question for you guys, which is a little bit cheeky, and I'm excited to ask it. How many of you guys have a thought, Ruben is probably going to pitch me something at the end of the training today? Comment down below me if you had that thought. And you're like, Ruben's going to pitch something. Yes. Kelly's like, yep, yep, yep. Everyone had, oh, really? Obviously. Oh my gosh. Well, I don't want to let you guys down. And so I think I'm going to have to share with you guys something that we just put together as a team. And I would love for you guys to stick around. If it's not something that works right now, there's no pressure. But I wanted to put on a little bit of a special for you guys who showed up here today. And so does that sound good? Give me like a sounds good down below. And I'm going to run through something for you guys, okay? So I actually wanted to first show you guys a little bit of something that I think you guys are going to find interesting. Let's first talk about what other coaches are charging for a similar program as what I'm going to be sharing with you guys here today. Now, most of the coaches who actually like deliver like a one-to-one service like we do, like super high-end one-to-one service, because as I see here, it's the best for results and sustainability, are charging double, if not triple, of what we charge. So like most programs with like you getting a one-to-one coach, having like 3 group trains per week and access to like everything, will charge like anywhere between like $10,000, $15,000 for a 3-month program, which by the way, I mean, if you start to make $10,000 a month because of that program, I mean, that investment is totally valid. Not saying it isn't, okay? Now, the crazier thing that I think, not the price point, is that most of these programs, like they don't have a money back guarantee, or they don't have like a 93% success rate like we do, okay? So what we're doing today is like really, really special. And actually, I'm gonna prove something to you guys right here, right now, because I'm all about the proof is in the pudding. So we talk about our 93% success rate. I wanna show you guys something, okay? I'm going to show you our literal data of the clients that we work with. I want to show this to you guys because I want you to actually know that you can trust us. Here we go, Google Drive. Let me show you, we actually, as a company, we actually track how our clients are doing every single week. So I'm gonna literally show you exactly what this looks like. So we actually track our client health here every single week. We started doing this last November. So if I take our success rate for the last, I guess it'd be about 7 months. Right now we are averaging, oh, I lied, it's 92%, not 93. 92% success rate of our clients, okay? So I just wanted to quickly prove that to you guys because most people will say the success rate, they will not show you their tracker of actually how they're getting their people that result. So now what I want to do today is I want to talk to you guys about our CCI growth program, if that's okay with you. Because we've been adding some updates to it and I'm really, really excited to share this with you guys. Yeah, totally. Some people have to hop off, no problem at all. So I want to share with you guys what you're going to get out of CCI growth when you join. Because CCI growth, in my opinion, is the best program on the market for achieving those 10 to 30K months. Because what you guys got taught today is literally just a small percentage of what you can get if you work with our team for 3 months and actually get one-to-one mentorship like this every single week customized to you. Like this training was like decent on the customization, but when you actually have a one-to-one coach, it's like next level. Adam's like, thanks so much for recommending the program, guys. Awesome. Yeah, Adam's actually a client of ours. Thanks for saying that, my man. So in basically short terms, here's what you're going to get out of CCI. A one-to-one specialist to help you create your client getting machine, basically help you build your loop method funnel, start to get clients with it. So our goal is that you never have to worry about where your next client is coming from. Now, in addition, something we added in recently is you are also going to be getting 3 master classes per week hosted by our staff to help you sharpen your business skills with all the cutting edge online marketing strategies. We as a company have invested in 3 mentors already this year. We've learned so much that we are adding in new online marketing strategies that we haven't taught before, that we're learning that are better than ever. And in addition, we're actually redoing our whole module basis, which is the number 3 here. That honestly, if someone just watched the module basis and implemented it, could help you get like 30K months. So in addition to that, we have a really great community of other online entrepreneurs that are there to support you. So it's a really, really great thing. So now here's the thing, the results, this is the most important part. Does this actually work? So I did a little bit of digging because I want to give you guys the most relevant information. The average person who coming to our program is making between 0 to 3K months on average. So if that's you, they usually end the program. This is averages. Some people are a bit lower, some people are a bit higher. I want to be completely transparent with that. This is an average. This is not guaranteed with everyone. 0 to 3K months, usually they're going to end the program making around $8,000 to $10,000 per month, okay? That's averages. The average person making, let's say 4 to 6K coming into the program will end making about 12 to 15K. And these are consistent months. This is not just like an offshoot one at a time. And the average person making 8 to 10K months coming to the end in the program ends the program making about 20 to 30K per month. Okay, so what you're going to get is obviously these are all the deliverables, but this is the result that you should be looking for. So now here's the insane thing: you get all of this for less than half of our competitors. Okay, now what I'm going to be doing today, these 3 things, write these 3 things down because I think you guys are going to be interested in this. You guys are going to be getting a money back guarantee in our program, meaning if you don't make your investment back while you work with us, we'll keep coaching you for free until you do make your return, okay? We're gonna guarantee that. Now, in addition, for just the people that are coming on here today and watching this, I'm gonna tack on, usually our program's 3 months long. If you're interested in investing at this point, I'm gonna add in an extra month of coaching for free, okay? So you're gonna get 3 months, or basically 4 months of coaching for the price of 3, just because honestly, I would love to serve you guys. You guys are an amazing group of people. The last thing I'll add is a bonus 2-hour one-on-one intensive with just me. So basically it's like if you would have come to this today, but it would have been just you and me talking, just you and me creating that loop method, just you and me going over the strategies, all of that kind of stuff, okay? Now, most of our competitors charging 10, 15K for 3 months for this. Right now, we are simply doing this for 6,500 bucks, okay? Literally less than half for what a lot of our competitors are doing. Now, I do want to give a little bit of an update on this. We are July 1st going to be raising the prices of this program to 7,800. And I want to be very crystal clear. This is not a sales tactic as far as me saying that and that it's actually normal that price or that we're actually moving it up. This is legitimate. We've had so much success with this program. The success rate is so high. We've been adding in more stuff. We legitimately are raising the price point. This is not a lie. Transparently, we're just doing that. And if you want to come in at that point, at that price point, that's totally okay. So what I'm going to do is for the first 5 people, if you want to come in and confirm that payment, we'll be adding those 3 bonuses in for you guys for free. Okay. What I'm going to do, and by the way, like you guys don't have to do this today. Okay. At the end of the day, like if this is a really good fit for you guys, I want you guys to join today if it feels right. If it doesn't feel right, I'm not here pushing anything, okay? So now what I'm gonna do for you guys here, I'm just gonna go grab something here. If you guys are wanting to get in right now, I'm gonna actually put the link right here in the chat here, okay? So you guys can literally go ahead and do it right now if you are interested. So now what I also want to do is because for some people 6,500, maybe you don't have that on a credit card or whatever it is, okay? So if you guys all of a sudden are interested, but let's say you're looking for maybe a payment plan of some sort, what we can do is we can jump on a quick call after this intensive. My team's hanging out. I'm going to be hanging out. If you guys want to jump on a quick 5-minute call, 10-minute call, talk about your situation to see if there is a payment plan that we can craft together to make this work, we can totally go ahead and do that for you guys. I want to make sure that at the end of the day, you guys are getting the best bang for your buck. And so that's what we're going to be doing. And so if you guys are good with the paid in full, the link is right there in the chat. If you want to have a payment plan, go ahead and just send me a message right now on social media, and we'll jump on a call quickly after this, see what works for you guys, okay? Yeah, like I said, if payment plan is needed, go ahead and send me a message or email now. We have time available in the next little bit. So any questions? I want, and this is a point, I mean, if you guys have questions, you can go ahead and unmute yourself right now. We've been just doing it in the chat, but if you guys have questions about either the intensive we went through today, the program, anything like that, I'm literally gonna stay on here for another bunch of minutes and talk to you guys. So any questions? You can put it in the chat if you want, or you can unmute yourself. Where are we at? Great start, curious, yeah. Awesome, guys. So, anyone have any questions? People are like shy to chat. Any questions? Do I have to start to play the music from a? Oh, there you go. You're welcome, Amy. Hope you're doing great. What we'll be doing is we'll be holding this whole special as far as these 3 things for the next 5 days, okay? So it's either 5 days or 5 people will be getting this. And I'm really, really excited about it because like I said, and I showed this at the beginning, but the people that work with us again and again and again, the results just speak for themselves. And so if you guys can get this result in the next little bit, I mean, what is that worth to you guys? So any other questions? Matter of time till I jump on board with you. Sounds good, guys. And like I said, if you do want to get it right now, but you need a payment plan, just go ahead and send me a message or an email right now, and we'll see if we can craft something for you guys. So if anyone wants that, go ahead and do that right now. Now, also for everyone coming off this intensive, I'll definitely be following up and checking up with you guys in the next couple days, just seeing how it went for you guys, what you're like going to be getting out as far as the value goes, and where your interest lies at. At the end of the day, I always love it when people are transparent. So if we're ready to get going, awesome. If not, let's keep on providing you value. So you are so welcome, Carly. For sure, Shauna. Yeah, I love that. Hey, thanks for saying that, Jen. Awesome, awesome. Awesome, guys. So any other questions about this or about the 6-figure intensive? I want to make sure that if there's any questions that you had about everything that we went through today, that those all get answered as well. So any other questions? Matter of time for me too. Would love to get on board soon. Awesome, guys. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. Any other questions? I want to make sure we get them all answered. Just the top funnel thing. Totally, Luke. Luke, unmute yourself. Let's dialogue about this. Let's make this happen, dude.
I'm unmuted.
Walk me through that.
Yeah, so going into groups, like adding the friends, getting kind of shut down by Facebook. So like, are you going in and going on people's profiles and like sending them a message without adding them? Or like, I just don't understand the process.
Yeah, totally. So I would never send a message to someone like on Facebook. Always make sure you're like Facebook friends before like you'd message somebody. So the biggest thing that I would like, if you're going to do the whole group strategy, what I would do is I would just make sure that I'm finding the right people and doing enough. So there's a couple different ways to use a Facebook group, right? Like other people's Facebook groups. It's either like finding the people in there that are like asking questions or comment threads and like providing value in there, and then people will naturally like follow you. Or it's finding just simply the groups where ideal clients are in and just adding them as friends. Now, with all of this stuff, it's important to realize that all social medias there's limitations as far as how many people you can reach out to, add friends, etc. And if you're hitting blocks, which I know, Luke, you and I have chatted about a little bit, that usually means stuff's happening too fast or in too big of quantities, or like you're in a little bit of like you did too much, and now it's kind of like punishing you by doing like reach, like basically throttling your reach. So one of the things we often get our clients to do is, if their reach is throttled, we do a smaller amount for a couple of days and we slowly up it, right? A lot of people go from like, I'm not doing anything to I'm doing like 100 a day. Just slowly up it like day by day, because the social media platforms literally are like, they need to warm up to you. Lots of people, when they start on Instagram, let's say direct outreach or whatever it is, they can start with 20 a day. Lots of people can warm up their accounts actually to 50 a day, but you can't do it like from like 0 to 100. It takes time. So that's, again, one way to do audience growth on Facebook. There's obviously all those other ways that I mentioned. So if you want to find a different way to do it, that's why we go those options. That makes sense. Any questions on that?
Yeah, I think it makes sense. So you just add them from being in the groups, and if your account's dialed in, then they'll add you back, is kind of what I'm understanding.
Yes. Yeah. I feel like in your situation, either I'll just take some time to warm up, or maybe try to find like a bit of like a different platform to grow your audience on. Like I know you're using your Facebook group. I think I mentioned to you, like, once there's a season where I used literally my Instagram to funnel people into my Facebook group. I didn't even use Facebook to funnel my people into my Facebook group. So if that's going to work better for you now, like, I would go ahead and do that.
And like in that strategy, again, like I just fundamentally don't understand. Like I'm not very active on Instagram. I don't really know how it works. So like after you mentioned that to me, I went in and I just went to like some weight loss groups and started adding people about creating the conversations. It's not like I can't even create, like I can't even add 10 people a day to my list. So it just seems like a fool's errand.
Yeah. Well, then honestly, I mean, I would kind of rest it on Facebook for now. Like, I've had that happen to me before in the past, and usually it kind of goes away in a little bit. If I were you, I would probably utilize Instagram. And I mean, super simple ways of doing it. Like, there's a couple different ways. There's some like more direct ways and more like long-term nurturing ways. The long-term nurturing ways are more like really just connecting with these people, like just having some rapport conversations, and then like inviting them to the Facebook group. Super simple conversations. Then I have some clients that literally, they find the people and they actually send the value piece in the first message, just basically being like, hey, I just saw some of your content. I don't know if you'd find this interesting at all. I know it's a bit direct, but I have this value piece that I'd love to send your way. Here it is, etc. So there's a couple of different ways to do it on Instagram. Faster, slower, but all of them can have like the same, like, let's get you into the Facebook group if you want. Like, literally, there was a time when I was using Instagram, I was growing my Facebook group by about 40, 50 people a week, just like chatting with people on Instagram and content on Instagram, and then like funneling them over. So like I said, there's literally, I mean, you could do the same thing on LinkedIn. You can do the same thing on TikTok. You can do the same thing on like Clubhouse. Like, there's so many ways to do it. The key is, like, if something's just not working, let's take a break. Let's try something else out to see if we can get that rocking and rolling.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me know if you have any other questions on that. It says, like I said, this is the part of the process that most people need the most amount of help with, just because like audience acquisition is a decent thing to get a hands on. So any other questions, guys? We got a bunch of other people on here. Any other questions? Sarah, hope you're doing great. Juanita, good to have you on here. Any other questions? Or, yeah, I know, Carly, you wanted to see the slide. Hopefully you got everything that worked for you. Lindsay says that I'm a wizard because I'm messaging her. Lindsay, I'm sorry to say that is my VA who you are messaging. See, you have to outsource parts of your business so that you can do other parts of your business. Oh, that is so funny. Yeah, no, that's how it works. As you build a bigger business, you can build a team and serve more people. So anyways, then we got a couple people who are, yeah, Sarah, you are so welcome that you're able to make it on here. And I know we have a bunch of people who maybe are watching the replay of this after the fact. If you have any questions about anything, whether it's our program that you could be joining or about the intensive, feel free to reach out to us on social media after the fact as well. Awesome. Sounds good, guys. Well, I'm going to take on here for another 2 minutes. I want to make sure that we get all the questions for you guys. Like I said, honestly, at the end of the day, it would be just a joy and an honor to serve you guys within our program. At the end of the day, that's where people get the best results. Like the one thing I didn't mention, obviously, today is like the 200 people that we helped get to 6 figures. Like classic, they joined our program and they got there and beyond consistently, 30K months, 40K months, a lot of them. So at the end of the day, we'd love to work with you guys, but we want to make sure it's a good fit for you. So any other questions? 30 more seconds and then we're going to jump off. You're welcome, James. I've like had so much water that I really need to go to the bathroom, but 30 more seconds for you guys. Yeah, have a great weekend, guys. Hope you're all doing, yeah, some fun stuff over the weekend. You're welcome, Jen. Hope you enjoyed it. Awesome, guys. Okay, well, we're going to be jumping off for now, but you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Any questions you have, message me if you're interested in the program or some flexible payment plans to get you in, even though maybe it's a little bit scary. Send me a message, and I'll be chatting with you guys in the next little bit. Have a great rest of your Friday, guys. Thanks for jumping on. Bye for now.